Hello and welcome to my Union Pacific N-scale Willow Creek sub layout update. This is a bit of a update on how I'm going with my Caleante yard. Previous videos there I showed you my ballasting of the track, etc. This video that I'm going to be doing now is I'm just going to show you how I'm going to get rid of this step. I'm going to do a embankment along through there that will eventually go to these wing walls here. The wing walls are made out of 3mm MDF and they will be sheeted with 1mm styrene with concrete join lines scribed into them, etc. to make them look like concrete. But these are basically just the skeleton of how they're going to go. So I'm going to go along and I'm going to put in, you can see I've done the first section there, the lower section. I used there was a plaster, a polyfiller plaster for that, and it's gotten to the stage now where the distance is too great, so I'm going to use cardboard strips along here. The cardboard is pretty flimsy, I know that, but once the plaster cloth goes on and then the rest of the scenery, that'll stiffen it all up. I'm going to attach the cardboard strips using my glue gun. I don't want to use PVA because I'm using IPA when I put my scenery stuff on. I don't want it to weaken the glue, so I'm going to go through and use a glue gun all the way along there. Stay tuned. Okay, excuse the mess. Obviously everyone that builds a model railway or a layout knows that there's always mess. This is pre-cleanup, obviously. Wine glasses I was telling you about. I don't drink wine, so as I said, I use it for mixing paints, glues. In this case, I'm using it to hold my glue gun, and you can see I've used it for electrical work. There's old bits of wire that I've cut off, but these come in very, very, very handy. I'm probably the only person I think that that uses them. It holds my airbrush too. Here I go. Going to put in my strips of cardboard. Now I've come across, you can see I've put a little mark here and a little mark on the bottom. This is for when I'm cutting my strips. I basically put the cardboard across and measured them. It's going to sit in that area there, and then numbered number 1. Obviously for the first section, I'll use the glue gun. I'll run a bead along the top and the bottom there to secure it. As we move along, I'm going to sit in number 2. Sorry for the camera, I am doing this with one hand. Sit in number 2, that'll be all glued up into that like that. And the trickier part here is where where it sort of comes in a bit of a corner before it gets to the wing wall. So I've got number 3. I'll set that there and see I've cut the cardboard there, so when I do conform it to the shape, it will wrap around. So we'll see how that goes. We'll glue that up and we'll see how that goes. Alright, here's the first bits of cardboard I put in. Just running a bead down the bottom, bead up the top. There's these glue guns. I use these glue guns for putting rocks and stuff on my layout. Plaster rocks I've made in molds. Pretty much works instant. Also, I'll let you in a little bit of advice. So the glue gun actually is hot. Very hot. If my neighbours are watching this video, then you'll know the origins of the colourful language that was said before. But yeah, word of caution, the glue gun is hot and it will burn. It will. So just be careful with that. Alright, so we got the third and final little cardboard section put in there, bent around. I've also put in this foam to sort of build up, that's included at the moment, to be shaped down to match the fascia and the wing walls there, be all contoured down. I use XPS Handy Panel multi-use foam board. It's 30mm thick foam board. It's made from extruded polystyrene. It's I get them in sheets of 600 by 1200 from Bunnings here in Australia. It's very, very easy to cut. It's basically, I use a Tamiya handsaw and it just slices through. I use this for all of my my landforms. Use this foam, shape it, and I apply my plaster cloth straight over the top of that. So while we're waiting on that to dry up, I will start conforming it to the contours once it's all dried. The rest of the embankment looks like this. Everything's all dried up. I'll use my scalpel. I'll go along the top there and just trim off the top to make it even with the baseboard up. And yeah, that's the very top part of where the line runs down towards my helix to Powder River, which you can see on the bottom deck below. So more to come. Righto, with the foam pretty much basically dry there, I've just gone through and I've shaped it with my little hacksaw, just to sort of give it a little bit of contour to match in with the fascia. There is pieces I glue in, just fill some gaps with a little bit of glue. Also bigger gaps, I used tissue paper just to fill these in, and these are all pretty much just all shaped into the foam with my my hacksaw knife there. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start putting plaster cloth on this area, and to give it a bit of the start of the sort of the landforms for the plaster cloth. This is before I get into the painting and the actual scenicking side of things, and this is where you see it start to take a better shape. Stay tuned. So here is my plaster cloth. I just cut it off onto, it comes on a roll, and I just cut it into little sheets about the size of toilet tissue, and I cut up X amount there, and I'll show you how I put them on. Okay, because I only have one hand, putting this plaster cloth on is quite messy. I need two hands. I didn't actually video the plaster cloth going on, but it's pretty self-explanatory. I just cut the cloth into little squares the size of toilet paper, dip them in water, a little bowl of water, and just put them on. Massage them in, sort of get the plaster activated in the cloth, and yeah, basically just cover the ground forms that I had there. So I worked my way along, all the way along here. And the white actually makes it look a lot steeper than what it is. It's not really, it's a bit of a steep bank, but it's not too much of an angle. The toe of the bank comes right down to the ballast there. Is going to be sort of created like a ditch sort of effect. Going along down through there, this is all going to have another layer of paint, then a layer of dirt, then a layer of the ground cover, and go from there. But yeah, that's basically how that area there has come up. We transformed that just from bits of cardboard and blocks of foam, and I'm not too worried about the fascia here. So I've got plaster on the fascia. The colour I've got there, I call it the construction coat. It's not the final coat. Once all my scenery and that's done, then I come along, I put the final coat of black on the fascia as the last sort of job to do on it. But the black is just there to make it look good while I'm building it, and it'll get a last coat when everything's all done and tidied up. But I'm quite happy with how that sort of turned out at the moment, and we'll let that dry and we'll see what else we can continue on with.